Welcome to Ride JBI. I'm JB. Today I'm with Anthony Moreno, and we are doing our first ride report on the WP XACT Pro 6500 Cartridge Kit. To start off the day, we began riding his bike, which is a 2022 GasGas MC350. Anthony's been running the WP AER Pro fork by us in his front forks for about almost a year now, and also a revalved rear shock to match. So using his bike as a benchmark, we both rode that today on the Lake Elsinore track, and we rode it as is. Got comfortable on it, we pulled off, put on these forks, and rode these forks for the rest of the day. With that in mind, as our benchmark, I'll let Anthony give you some of his insight on what he felt today.
Yeah, so coming into today, I don't really touch my air fork or the shock, really. I got it back from JB, and I found a setting that I like, and I've gone a little bit stiffer as I've gotten a little bit faster. I ride at like a slower intermediate level, so I was really comfortable with that, and I've never ridden a set of spring forks from WP, so I was very curious coming into this on what it would feel like. So doing the back-to-back was interesting. Now right away, going into the spring fork, I thought it would be a little bit heavier once I hopped onto the track. I did notice it for about a lap or two, but once you start getting into the flow of things, that really just goes all out the window. Like, you don't notice it. So that was one thing that was super cool, going from the air to the spring. Good thing here is you're gonna get more lean angle traction on and off throttle, which is really nice. So the air fork does a good job of that, especially with JV's valving. Gives you good support and good comfort going through a flat turn, but with these you just get a little bit more of that. So it's just enhanced. Good mid-stroke support, good bottoming out resistance, and overall I think that this kit out of the box is really good. But with JB's valving and what we have planned in store to go to different tracks, try some things out, it's gonna even get better from here. So yeah, I'm super pumped on this, and I'm super pumped with my air fork right now and the shock, and yeah, we'll go from there.
I agree with everything he said. Out of the box, this kit works really, really well. I was impressed. I'm always just interested to see how new forks work. I've ridden a lot of spring forks and twin chambers over the years, such as the Showas, since the 47 mil, 48, and now the 49s, and then also the KYB SSS since 2006, that's been out. So it was really fun to just throw these in and try them exactly how WP recommends. So today we had compression at 12, rebound at 12, 400 cc's of oil, and we had a 4.6 Newton spring inside the forks, because that matches the rear shock that Anthony on his bike, which is a 42 Newton meter. What stood out to me a lot was the forks had really good hold up and bottoming. Spring forks I've ridden before, they have really good traction, but they can bottom out pretty harshly in stock form. So I was really impressed with how well and hard you could ride these forks, and they worked good. I did expect a little bit more, but at the same time, I feel like we got our air settings pretty dialed. I'm not biased one way or the other. My job is just to make good suspension. So it's really fun to see how far we've come from the stock air fork to what we have now and what we also can offer. So if you're riding a stock bike and you put this on your bike, it's going to be a night and day, huge difference. If you're currently riding a bike with some revalve work done to it, it'll still be a noticeable improvement, but maybe not as big. Again, great purchase, good value. So where we're at right now, we got an awesome low-cost option with our JBI Pro fork for the air at $295, and now we're offering this, which is $1595, and that includes the cost of the springs. And then down the line, we're going to have a JBI spec as well, which we are currently developing. Anything like to add before we finish up?
Yeah, one thing I'd like to add is we had both kind of commented on this. We had some square edge, kind of choppy bumps today. Nothing too big, but enough to really upset the bike. And we both commented that maybe we can get a little bit more compliancy out of that. We both kind of, there was a moment out there where we kind of got some ping pong or some stuff. It got a little skatey, but yeah, there's really no obvious negatives with this, all right?
Absolutely.
Like with the revalved air fork, and a lot of people say like, oh, you need to get the spring fork right away. I personally, I love my air fork. I don't feel the need to change it, especially after riding something like this. Maybe down the line we have some Ride JBI stuff that might change. Sure. But out of the box, this works great. If you want to stick with your air fork and like it, but want a little more performance, you could go with the Ride JBI spec in your air fork, and it works great. They're both very comparable. I would say that this is a touch better, and I would really like to see what we can do with this, with some revalving and work like that. So
absolutely, man. Yeah, I'm excited. We didn't touch the clickers at all today. I didn't want to. Really, the main goal is just to ride it as is, how WP recommends, and get acclimated with it. So as Anthony pointed out, we're going to hit up some other tracks and just log a lot more time on these forks. And from my experience, once we do that, some areas will become very apparent to us where we can improve upon that. But as it sits right now, man, great job by WP. Really impressed and really excited to do some more testing and tuning with this.
Later.